Hi everybody, it's Tom from Vehicle Visionary. I hope you're having a great day. I stopped by Morgan Buick GMC to pick up this 2024 Buick Envista Avenir, the top trim level of the all-new Envista, a new model for 2024 that has a very sporty look. We'll close everything up and give you a better look at that in just a few seconds. But it has a sporty look. It has a very enjoyable ride quality, and while it may not have the most horsepower under the hood in its class, it does have a lot of infotainment and safety features, driving aids available, probably more than you might expect. And so in today's video, we are going to give you the information to answer the question, is this the ultimate subcompact SUV? The exterior color on this model is Cinnabar Metallic, and it has a Gideon with ebony interior. Give you a quick look at that. I know you got a little bit of a glimpse earlier, but you can see it's not jet black. That's a good thing for those of you who may not like the jet black colors or look. Just having something a little bit different keeps that interior a little bit cooler during the summer as well. And the Sportback really makes this model look really nice. It looks very sporty. It doesn't look typical Buick. And something else that you'll find that's new for 2024 is going to be right here. The new Tri-Shield logo is going to be in a number of different places. And being that this is the Avenir, you're going to have different areas that are going to feature a little bit of chrome just to give it that kind of a luxurious feel to it. It would be nice to see some black wheels on this particular model, at least in my opinion. But as we take a look at the front end, you can see the design of your daytime running lights and the blinkers right here. Now that flickering effect, that is not something that is actually happening in real time. It just has to do with the shutter speed of my camera. You see that kind of thing a lot on YouTube. That's why that happens. And the headlights right here, everything nice and bright. And like I said, you've got a little bit of chrome here, nice look with a really sleek looking front end. And there again is that Tri-Shield logo I was telling you about. Now, in the interest of fair reporting, this model only comes with front wheel drive. No all-wheel drive is available. I don't know what people think about that, so tell me down in the comments section. And if you're curious about tire and wheel size, 245 on the width, a 45 series sidewall, and a 19-inch wheel. We're going to have the Avenir logo down here. Obviously, we'll have that on both sides of the vehicle. And you'll have the remote that looks nice. Here's your unlock button, the button right here with that Tri-Shield logo. It is the lock button. You have that little logo right there. You can open and close the power lift gate back there. And yes, it does have remote start. That's a good thing. I know a lot of you want to know about that. Panic button is right there. And the power adjustable but manually folding side view mirrors here with the body colored mirror caps, but a very nice look with the combination of the body color and the gloss black. Turn signal indicators obviously built in, and passive entry on the front door, only on the front door. That's this chrome button right here. So when you have the remote in your possession, in your pocket, you ladies in your purse, whatever the case is, then you can walk up and lock and unlock all four doors from that area. We'll finish things off with the nice looking tail lights here that have a very similar look, really emulating what we saw on the front end. Just a nice seamless flow. There are the turn signal indicators. If you're wondering what those are, you actually can activate those when you're driving down the road or turning or whatever you're doing to let people around you know what you're doing. And one thing that you might notice that's missing back here is a rear window wiper. According to Buick, there was no need for one because of the lines, the kind of sloping line of the window here. So water will actually run down off the roof over across this area right here and should keep that clean. Haven't been able to test that out myself. But again, you can see some of the accents here with a little bit of the trim around the windows. Tell me what you think. What do you like about the exterior of the vehicle? Do you wish it came with all-wheel drive as an option? And here under the hood is the 1.2 liter 3-cylinder. I know a lot of people are going to scoff at that, but for the right person, I think this will do a good job. It does make 137 horsepower, 162 pounds-feet of torque. Good news, If you're saying to yourself, well, that means it's probably mated to a CVT. Actually, it's not. It's mated to a 6-speed automatic transmission. And let's take a quick look at those all-important MPGs. 28 city, 32 highway, 30 combined, and 3.3 gallons of gas is what you should use per every 100 miles driven, at least according to the window sticker. Cargo capacity will come in at 20.7 cubic feet up to 42 cubic feet. You have the power lift gate right here. And let me show you a little trick. If that doesn't open for some reason, and you know there's no issues with the battery, here's what you need to do. Come right here and check this switch, because you have 3 different settings. You have max, you have 3/4, and you have off. So if it's not opening, most likely it's set to off. And obviously you'll maximize cargo capacity here by lowering the seats. I'll do both sides. And the cargo cover that's right there, that is easily removable. Not a big deal to do that. In case you were curious, that can be very helpful in certain situations. And you do have the cargo lighting here, a reasonable amount of space. And good news, underneath the floor right here, you will find a spare tire. That's always good. No tire repair kits here. Obviously, you can close the door using that power feature, no matter what the situation is. But if for some reason you wind up in a situation where the battery dies, you can still open this manually. And let's see what your rear seat passengers will find. See how comfortable the armrest is. I'll give it the armrest test. Well, that seems to be comfortable. A lot of the time I know we do that. I'm not going to do that because that doesn't really give you much. Well, I did just do it, didn't I? But putting the arm up there, that's the ultimate way to find out. And the combination of your Gideon with ebony interior and a little bit of white contrast stitching here, a reasonable size door bin for a subcompact SUV, and there is plenty of room here in the back seat area. You do have the fold-down armrest with the cup holders built in, and you're going to have the dual seat pockets here on the rear, as you can see. Now, there are no air conditioning vents back here, but I don't think that's a big deal. Should be fine. Not a large enough interior for that to be a big situation to be concerned about. But what you do have back here is going to be the USB connection options. And a larger front door means a larger armrest. For the passenger side, obviously this will also be on the driver's side as well. A much larger door bin, a lot of space here. The Avenir logo prominently displayed. Kind of hard to get the right angle with the light we have here, but right there on the door sill. Now you will find a power adjustable driver's seat, manually adjustable passenger seat, and here is how everything looks. The Avenir logo stitched into the headrests only on the front seats. I feel like that should be on all of the headrests throughout the front and rear interior. And a nice look here. It doesn't look typical. It doesn't really look, I don't know, I'd almost say it does not look cheap. But just the overall design of the dash. You have the virtual cockpit with the screens right there. We're going to get more into that shortly. And then we'll also find ventilated seats, but unfortunately ventilated only, or excuse me, heated, not ventilated. That's right, it's okay. You can laugh at my little faux pas there. Yes, you know that they are heated only. No ventilated seats here. Kind of surprised on the Avenir trim level that they're not ventilated. I was having some wishful thinking there by saying that earlier. And you have quite a bit of space in the glove box right there. Now you will find some more connectivity options down here as far as a 12-volt power outlet, USB, and a wireless charging pad. There's the cup holders and the shifter, a conventional style shifter. That's always good news to everybody, I think. We also have some space in front of the center console, and the center console sits at a nice height that can be used as an armrest. So obviously these seats are fully adjustable, even though you only have power adjustability on the driver's side, but you can adjust those accordingly, and then plenty of space within the center console, at least for a subcompact SUV. And I'm going to have to change my tactics just a bit because it's raining a little bit out here, but not a big deal. We can still take a look at what we have here on the driver's side door. Everything you would expect to see is going to be here. All of the adjustments for the mirrors and opening and closing the windows. Here is how you're going to control the lighting on the exterior of the vehicle, and here is that lever that a lot of you were confused about when I talked about it earlier, that turns on the blinkers or the turn signals, those blinking lights on the outside of the vehicle that actually do blink when you're actually looking at them, unlike that blinking effect that comes from the GoPros. That's right, that is there, and that's how you use it. You might not have known that. Steering wheel mounted controls here, very easy to figure out what is what there, and the controls for your windshield wipers, because that's the only wipers you have. But the thing that I think I'm most impressed with here is the virtual cockpit. A total of 19 inches. So we're going to have 8 inches here with the instrument cluster, and we will have 11 inches with the infotainment screen. A very nice look, very modern, and you even have this area right here to position your hands so that it makes it a little bit easier to work your way around when you make your selections to everything that's here. Traction control on, off, as you can see right there. You can see the different options right here. There's a lot going on with the vehicle, that's for sure. Depending on what you want to fix, what you want to change, what you want to know about, maybe I shouldn't say fix, but, and you do have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, wireless connectivity, so that's a good thing. And as you can see there, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. I haven't connected my phone, so I can't really do anything with that at the moment. But one thing about it, while you have quite a bit going on here, it's also very simple to use, which means for those of you who have never had this style of technology in your vehicles before, it's also very easy to learn. So you can see what all you have here as far as the different features go. You can reset things if you need to. Sounds, display, privacy, Wi-Fi hotspot, all of that is here. And then we'll go over here to the next selection. You have teen driver mode under vehicle, rear seat reminder. You know, I realize that people shouldn't need to be reminded that they have kids in the back seat, but that isn't the only way you can use that. You could also use that to be reminded that maybe you've left your backpack or whatever you have back there for a meeting, a business trip, whatever, that you need to say, oh yeah, I need to get that, for people who might be a little forgetful. Climate and air quality right here, if you want to work on that. Auto defog for the windshield and the rear defogger, all that stuff. And then we can hit right there and go back. Comfort and convenience, lighting, everything is here as far as this goes. Quite a bit to go through. I'm not going to cover every little aspect of what we have, but just so you can see what is available. And yes, there is a backup camera. That's not going to be something you need to ask about, honestly, because every vehicle in this day and age will have that. That was supposed to be on every vehicle by 2020 by law. So at least in the United States, that was the case. So if you're curious about that, now you know. And single zone climate control, I didn't talk about that earlier, but you did see that when I was accidentally distracted by saying these were ventilated seats, even though they are not. But anyway, again, it's okay to laugh at me. Single zone climate control. Yeah, I don't know if you really need dual zone here or not, but always helpful. I'm a little surprised that's not here on the Avenir trim level, but still, you have a lot of great features, a lot of great functionality. You do have a conventional size sunroof here. As far as that goes, it does open, so if you want to use that, you can take full advantage of it. Okay, we're going to get out on the road for a quick test drive here in the Envista. And I know the number one thing a lot of people are likely to say is it's underpowered. Well, depending on who you are, it may be perfect for you. You just need to get out and drive it. In my personal opinion, if there was one area that isn't necessarily required in these car review videos, it would be the fact that we don't need to do a test drive. And while I'm still going to do test drives for you, honestly, you really need to drive these vehicles for yourself just to find out what you personally think, because if I told you it was underpowered, you might hop in and drive it down the road and say, you know what? That wasn't my experience. I actually thought the Envista did just fine. So it really is based on an individual basis. But what I can tell you is that this model seems to get down the road just fine, even with the low amount of horsepower compared to a lot of other models out there. And if we were to compare this to, say, the Honda HR-V, which is a direct competitor, well, then the situation would be that you're not looking at a ridiculous amount of horsepower beyond what we have here. In fact, you're looking at 158 horsepower with the HRV that has a 2-liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder, and it makes 138 pounds-feet of torque. It does come with a continuously variable transmission, or CVT. So, yeah, there's options to weigh there. I know a lot of people don't like the way the CVTs operate. You don't have to worry about that here because it is a 6-speed automatic. But when it's all said and done, the driving experience is actually quite nice. And I don't ever see these Buicks in for needing a new engine or anything like that. As far as the new models go, check that out next time you go to your local dealership. I'll see them in for oil changes and things like that, but ultimately they seem to be mechanically very well built, and obviously being a situation where you're not going to go around flooring it all the time because it's not meant for high performance. So if you drive it appropriately, not going to be a problem. So let's just see here. I'm just going to cruise on down the road the way I would in normal driving conditions. The speed limit on this road is 45 miles per hour. And I had absolutely no trouble whatsoever getting there. You do have a smooth ride quality. The interior itself is comfortable and fairly roomy for the size of the vehicle. Being a subcompact, I don't feel cramped, is probably the best way to put it. So overall, there's really a lot going on here that seems to work very well for potential owners of the Envista. Now, one thing I do want to say is that a lot of times when you have a vehicle, whether it's a car, a sedan, or an SUV like this that has that sport back look to it with the back window and the way the lines slope as they do, often it makes it a little more challenging to see out of the back window. What is it like here? I think it's built very well and designed just right so that you really don't have any problems where that's concerned. I can see out of the back window with absolutely no problem. So overall, I think the Envista is doing very well. It'll be interesting to see what people think about it, how they receive it, what they do as far as purchasing. Could it use more horsepower? Well, I don't care what it is. You always need more horsepower. Okay, tell me what you think down in the comments section. Is the 2024 Buick Envista Avenir the best subcompact SUV? Tell me what your answer is and tell me why you answered the way that you did. I'm always curious to know. And if you want to know more about this particular model, check out the link down in the description of the video. It will take you to the Mike Morgan website. You can learn about this model or anything else you may wish to consider purchasing. So I do want to say a special thanks to my friends at the dealership for giving me the remote for the day so that I can show you this Envista, tell you all about it. And I want to say a special thanks to each and every one of you for being kind enough to give me the opportunity to give you a vision for your next vehicle. If you enjoyed this video and haven't subscribed to the Vehicle Visionary YouTube channel just yet, please consider doing so you can see future videos. And if you would like to learn about additional vehicles you may wish to consider purchasing, check out the video that's on the screen right now, and I will see you there.